Hi. Good to see you. Don't you have a place to be coming? Hey, quick, grab your PP. Start collecting your PP coins. Biggest sack at the end of the night. Wins. um, Very good. I'm proud of you. You can do that every 15 minutes. To grab your 1500 PP coins. You can also punish me later. With those PP coins. Yep, biggest sack. Biggest sack of doubloons. Get your minds out of the gutter. Like, it's not like that was intentional. What else could I call pirate punishment coins besides PP coins? Yeah, we're offering sack enlargement operations here today. So it's a great place to be, great place to come. All right, back to the kitchen. All right, we'll do some audio stuff, and you guys can also tell me if the camera angles are feeling good or not. You can be I will have fun with these punishments, Lumpy. So fret not about punishing. It's intended. Okie dokie. Let's see. So how is my audio here? It looks okay on the screen, but maybe a little bit low. Is that right? Very, very. Okay, how about now? I thought I was the best at talking to gals, but Candy. What did Candy say? I must have testicular cancer the way the way my sack is abnormally large. That's beautiful. Are we any better, or is this still low? I can also like project and talk louder. Try to bring this close. Still quiet. Boo. Maybe this one can also come along. Ooh, oh boy. La. Okay. Yeah, let me go ahead and mix the Oh, sorry. I just stopped talking. I committed the cardinal sin. Can you hear me now? This is with pretty much everything I have as loud as it can go. Let me know how I am in relationship to the music. I can talk louder. I just also don't want to sound like I'm yelling. All right. I need to pull up our dough recipe. I always forget. I always forget the ratios. And we'll get some bowls out. Okay. Perfect. The best part of cooking is not having to drive 40 hours to eat the food. That is very true. More balance now for sure. Stage voice when you can should work out fine. Okay. Yeah, I'll continue to try to talk like this. Without sounding also goofy. So, let's see. Need to wash my hands. And thank y'all again for helping me experiment. Speak only in opera. You should be good. I actually don't know any opera, but that'd be cool if I could suddenly just whip out a bunch of opera things. Hair up. Probably wash the hands again. All right. Wash them up. Okay, so we're doing two things right now. We're working on our pizza sauce, and we're working on our pizza dough. So I'm actually going to get a little water boiler over here. I'm going to get water boiling, because one of the first things that we're going to do is drop our tomatoes into boiling water, pull their skins off. Is the water boiler super loud for you guys? My apologies. And then I'll also be working on the dough. So first up is our flour. Now I have instant yeast, so we don't need to warm it up. And this usually makes like 4 personal pizzas for me in the air fryer. So, hey, in the Super Mario Bros. Movie, they go to a pizza parlor. That's like a central piece of the whole movie. So you can't blame me for this stereotype. 2 cups all-purpose flour. Okay, start with the 1 cup of flour. Pack of instant yeast. There that goes. Off to a swimming start. Just doing this already. More flour in a bit. And sugar. We're going to add our 1.5 teaspoons sugar. When I'm cooking, I normally don't I probably don't measure things, I just measure with my palm, but since we're baking, I don't. 1.5 teaspoons is actually the same thing as a half tablespoon. Just in case you ever need that information. 3 teaspoons to a tablespoon. Sugar in. Another sugar. Let's go ahead and throw our garlic powder in. They say like 1/8 of a teaspoon. That's not enough. I love garlic. So I would probably more like 1/4 of it. Take this out. We'll use it in the sauce also. Okay. So we have most of our dry ingredients together here. And now I'm gonna like switch focus for a second to our sauce so that we can get our tomatoes going. So, little pan on the stove. We'll get our hot water in. And then I'm gonna grab us some tomatoes to use. And we pop them in here. So what we do is we just score or sort of cut an X into the top of the tomato or bottom, whichever side, doesn't really matter. I guess the part where the stem is not is what I usually choose. Okie-dokie. And then into the boiling water. What this does is right after this, we're going to pour cold water over them. And that temperature change, it basically just shocks the skin. So you don't have to do this, but if you're ever looking for like a creamy or like a smooth kind of tomatoey thing, this is a good way to accomplish that without having to then strain it later. That's another way to do it, is you just leave the skins on, and when you go to like blend up your tomatoes or whatever, then you just sort of like push it through a sieve. But you know, this is the method I'm choosing for right now. Alright, let's bring our dough back in. Let me catch up with chat. See what y'all have been talking. We measure garlic with the heart. Thank you, Ms. DZ. This is 100% how I live. Ooh, yeast. Very familiar with that. Chris, are you causing yeast infections all over out there? Hot water boils faster than cold water. Yeah, I'm impatient with my stove, so I often use a water boiler first. What's chessboard? Kinderkata. Arr, the ocean be calling, but me be wishing ye luck on your pizza and stream. Mayhap we be meeting again at a later time. Thank you for coming in, Kato. I hope you have a wonderful day. If we see you later in this stream or just around with Twitch at all, which I'm sure we will, it'll be good to see you again. Front right burner supremacy. Some burners are stronger than others for sure. Let's see here. We got that. Where's our water? add olive oil and warm water. Okay. So our olive oil is the next thing to go in. We'll be doing 2 teaspoons. I'm gonna go ahead and use our half teaspoon thing here. I don't feel like washing multiple spoons. Who wants to wash more spoons? So in those go. And then water. 3/4 cups warm. If you're ever working with breads or yeast, warm water's typically requested because it helps wake up the yeast and help them do their stuff. Too hot and you will kill your yeast. So you don't want your water to be boiling. But also too cold. I mean, it usually still works if it's cold. I did too much. I filled up to 1 3/4. It's okay. We'll add more stuff. We'll add more flour. Okay, so our sort of initial dry ingredients thing. Then mixing. Oh, it smells beautiful already. The garlic powder is kind of like being woken up. I'm also going to throw some black pepper in here because I love putting pepper into bread. It just adds like sort of a nice flavor. And so that's about a quarter teaspoon. Right into there. Let's see, I'm missing the. Does anybody in chat like to cook or bake? What are some of your favorite things that y'all make? Missing salt. 3/4 teaspoon. And then we're also going to throw some basil leaves into here.
Back in the lion's den. You know what I'm sick and tired of? The Democrats making us wear rubbers.
Yeah.
Do you raw dog?
Pardon?
Do you raw dog?
Yeah.
Me too.
DZ has made banana nut muffins twice in 1 week. Learning to love it. Wait, why did you do twice in 1 week? I know for stream you did some banana nut muffins at your desk. Indented style, as we might call it. Okay. So we've got like a good mix of our wet and dry ingredients. Now we continue to put in flour until we are happy with the consistency of it. So it's supposed to be 1 more cup. I put in probably a 1/4 cup too much water, so we might have to do more. And also I'm flicking flour everywhere. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. grabbing those peepees. So right now the dough is kind of starting to turn ragged, kind of goops around. That's a good sign. We might not have to use extra. So right now it's still like too wet until like it just like sort of like that. We want it to like kind of hold together. With doughs, usually I end up getting really messy. What is your 1 minute about, Candy? Your mom lives that gluten-free life made some for her yesterday. Aw, that's so nice. I didn't realize that the recipe you were making was gluten-free. That's very cool. This always happens to me when I'm making breads. Maybe a quarter cup more flour will do. I'm probably just gonna switch to kneading. Here we go. It's starting to look nice. So now you can see it's like it's still like pretty ragged looking, but it's not sticking to my hands as much. So right now I'm just kind of like kneading and exposing more sticky spots that I can kind of smoosh flour into. This is probably, we're probably close to it. So when we're done here with this guy, we're just gonna wrap it up in some plastic wrap, or put a plastic wrap top on this thing rather. So now when I sort of like go and like fold it into itself, you can see not as much as kind of continuing to come off onto my hands. So that's usually when I know I've got the flour. So our yeast is then gonna rise up, and then we can section up our dough, roll it out. So let me just get a plastic wrap. Hello. This just keeps it from drying out too much in the process. Sometimes I also just use like a wood shop. Dough set up to there. We've got our tomatoes all ready to go. Their skin is already starting to come off, so I'll drain them real quick. Oftentimes you'll see recipes call for like putting them in like an ice water bath or something. That's really not necessary, just even like room temperature water often works. You can see how sort of like easily the skin comes off now. You just kind of like peel it back. They can be pretty hot. So if you're trying this in the future, exercise caution, I guess, when you go to do that for. All right. Mostly done with our flour for now. So put this over here. So now we're going to prepare the rest of our stuff for our sauce. So we're going to start with some onions, some garlic, get those going, and then our tomatoes will come in there and marry up with all the rest of the spices. So grab those real quick, and we'll get some onions going in a pan. Also grab mushroom, because I love mushrooms. You like San Marzanos, asks Candy. Those are tomatoes, right? Yeah, okay. I feel like I've had them. I can't like place something different than other tomatoes. So I guess I probably like them because I love tomatoes, but I don't love them enough apparently to know what they are. So I'm whatever that level is. Prince Anime asks, can viewers spot the whey container? Do I have a whey container? Where is it? What are we seeing? Okay. Let's get this pan heating up. I'm gonna put it on a mostly high heat. I always like to start with mushrooms in the pan first. You can actually plop them into a non-stick pan without oil or anything. Mushrooms contain a lot of moisture in them, so as they begin to cook, they actually release moisture down into the pan. So if you're trying to cut back on like fats and butters and stuff like that, this is a great way to accomplish some of that. Does everybody see a whey container? I was unaware that I had it. Get our little mushroom stem in there. Waste not, want not. And all. I'm gonna go for a pretty fine dice on the onion. Little knife skills thing here. Actually, don't learn how to cut onions from me because I don't do it the appropriate way. This is okay. Mostly when you're cutting things, you want to give it a foot, so something stable that it can sit on the board on, so that you're not goggling your hand all over the place. I don't think goggling is a word that most people use. And then when you're trying to dice things, you're often trying to give yourself a bunch of like pallets or planks to be able to cut across. And then we can just go back and cut those, and we have our little fine diced onions. This is not the official like way from French cooking, but it's effective for me. Let me see if I can get this spoon playing real quick. Clean enough to do this work. Finish chopping the end of our onion there. Get our onions going in. There we go. So we'll want to let the onions caramelize up a little bit. Caramelization is basically when something loses its water and is like sitting against a hot pan. The sugars that are in it begin to like transform. And that gives that kind of like brownish color. And it also sort of makes those sugars more pronounced, so you kind of get more of that sweetness out of the thing. I'm gonna put about, love more. Put about 3/4 teaspoon in with these. The salt also helps pull some of that moisture out, so that can help accelerate a little bit that kind of caramelization process. These aren't truly caramelized onions. That'll take like 20 or 30 minutes, and they'll get sort of like really yellow, really soft, kind of gooey. But this is sort of like partway to that process. Why would you put caramel on a pizza? Because it's good. Have y'all ever had dessert pizzas? I'm gonna get our basil ready while this is going. Oh, that smells beautiful. I love basil. Beautiful aroma. Master in the Kitchen, Pog. Oh, that's a very kind title. Thank you. Thank you for calling me that. Fire answer. Honestly, there are no stupid questions ever. It's always an opportunity. I actually gave you a kind of like silly answer, but the truth is that like sweet in savory food, and salt in sweet food. But both of them not only go super well, but when you start looking at like other cuisines from around the world, like I'm thinking Thai in particular, their sort of formula to their sauces, they call it yum, and it's salty, sweet, acid, heat. So those four components they're looking for kind of in those dishes, and having like a really nice balance between them. So salt helps bring out kind of sweetness, and sweetness helps bring out the flavor of the salt. I'm gonna go ahead and throw some vegetable broth in here. And that'll help get some of that like crust that's on the pan. That'll kind of like bring that up into the sauce. So that's bringing some flavor. So very common to sort of mix salty and sweet in. The alert noise is loud compared to your mic. I know I'm working, my mic situation is not great for when I'm away from the screen. I could probably turn the alerts down, but I'm trying not to mess too much with everything. So thank you for sticking through that, and thank you also for pointing it out. It is good information to have. Okay, let's get garlic in now. Garlic can burn super quickly. So particularly when we're trying to do that kind of like caramelization stuff, we don't want our garlic in the pan. When it burns, it just has this like super bitter taste to it, and that'll kind of be the only thing that you're tasting in the dish. So we want to avoid that, and we want to make sure that whenever we put our garlic in, we have really good control over the pan. Like we understand how hot it is, and then if you're ever like because you put your garlic in and you think it's starting to go, you can always add another ingredient will help cool the pan down, or add like a vegetable broth or even just water, and that will cool it before you're ending up with that that kind of bitter note. But that's why we're waiting to put these in until about. Thanks for the lyrical. I'm a huge garlic fan, so I'd probably overdo it, to be honest. I usually like to dice or mince the garlic pretty fine, just so that we never end up with like a raw chunk of garlic. That can also be kind of an unpleasant note to get when you're eating something. Just going through and dicing up our basil. We are like almost done with this sauce, and then we're going to let it simmer for a long time. To do that, I'm going to pop it in my sort of like rice maker, pressure cooker thing. So I'm going to start that up right now. And that's nice for like if you know that you're not going to be paying attention to something. It's in a contained vessel, and it can kind of just go along. Thanks for trying the bob. I don't have bobs, unfortunately. I'm convinced that by next time. All right, basil in, garlic in. You want to like smell for what the garlic is doing once that goes in. Once it starts giving off sort of like a little bit of a different fragrant note than you had before, then you kind of know you're in a good situation. All right, so our tomatoes are going in. I'm just gonna do kind of like our rustic smashing of them. So I'm just chopping up our tomato with this spoon here. And I'll pull their little stem butts. Boink. Not the most official way to do things, but sometimes I just like to work in it. I am. Yeah, absolutely, Prince Anime. They are a curated set of my favorite little things that make me giggle from the internet. Giggle or go, what the whoa? That's my other reaction. The recipes are really gonna sort of soften up as we cook it down. Thought about putting this in a blender also. That would be like the thing to do. I don't think I'm gonna do that. I don't want to do that bit. Yo! Dude. Good to see you. Our mic situation's a little wonky, so I hope you can hear me. Very excited that you're here. Let's see. Can I do I'm gonna try to do a little shout out for Dent here. Doing good. We're most of the way through our little cooking stuff. Oh, hi Nibiru! Thank you for the lurk. So we're making pizza right now because it'll be a pizza party. I think in about like 2 hours or something, I'll finish making the pizza. And then if y'all want to order pizzas, that's cool. And we'll have a little pizza party together. But today's been good. How's your day going? I hope it is well. Okay, we have like most of the main ingredients in here. I forgot to finish my shouting out. Dent is an incredible creamer. Sort of off the wall, a little bit in the vibes of our deep fried feed. There will be
30 white people versus Yakub. The year is 2046 in the deserts of Agartha. They showed up on e-scooters, holding La Croix and vague ancestral guilt. One brought a vision board, another tried to negotiate with a playlist. But Yakub, he wasn't nervous, because he created them. He still has the source code encrypted in Greek goat leather. And anytime they get too confident, he just blinks in a certain pattern and triggers a collective gluten allergy. But what's even better, the fight never started. Yakub sold their genetic IP to Azerbaijan Technology in exchange for 13 microwave hoverboards and a VW Polo. Now the white people work in data entry for Azerbaijan Technology's Ancestral Compliance Division. Get your Azerbaijan technology to your childrenofkhan.com. Legacy isn't claimed, it's engineered.
This just helps sort of bulk things out. Tomato paste is also really good to put in. That brings like a little bit of sort of umami flavor to things. But anything where you have tomatoes that have already been cooked for a very long time already, it just brings sort of another dimension to that flavor. So that's the idea there. Oh, look at that. It's looking like a beautiful sauce. Jen says, it's hot and work was mid, but not bad. I mean, glad that you're off work. The heat is real. I sympathize with that. Always a VW polo. Thank you, DZ. Yeah. Good note. When I'm over here, I'll probably just not try to talk through the memes. Then you should grab your PP. You can grab PP coins, pirate punishment coins, and you can punish me with them later. You could also become the PP coin captain if you end up with the biggest stack of PP coins at the end of the day. Putting in about a teaspoon of black pepper. So now that our main things are in here, I'm going to start adding all of our spices. So black pepper, I'm going to do some oregano. I'm also going to do some tarragon, which is like maybe a little bit odd. Tarragon is like in this family of herb that is like, so anise is like this really like licoricey kind of herb, and then like fennel kind of sits underneath that. It's almost like between cumin and anise. And tarragon and oregano both kind of like float around in that space. They have this kind of like high flavor to them, like sort of like upper. If you think about a musical scale, you know, they're on the higher end of things. Grab those, put those in. I think I lost my tarragon, so maybe not. We are going to get our oregano in though. About a teaspoon and a half. We're going to get onion powder in there. About the same, teaspoon and a half. And more garlic. So I also always used to think that like dried spices were sort of like the lame version of wet spices. You know, like their live counterparts. And then I found out that like they actually end up having very different flavor profiles. Like some more than others are like actually transformed by that drying process. And so that would be why we're adding like garlic powder, onion powder, even though we have onions and garlic already in there. They're just sort of adding another dimension of that flavor in there, so that we're getting really nice sort of like round flavors to things. Let's go ahead and taste that. Oh, that's so. I just want to sit here and eat it like a little soup. Okay, we're done on the stove. We're gonna put this thing into a little cooker over there, so that we can ignore it. We're gonna be like slow cooking away while we get to do other things. So it'll give that nice kind of like rich, slow cooked kind of taste. I'm actually gonna throw a little bit of olive oil olive oil can bring like just a really nice sort of like mouth feel, silky kind of flavor to things. Yo, Slimmy! Thanks for coming in. We are making pizza components right now. Let that just kind of stew into there. Okay. Let's see. I think I might go ahead and put y'all onto a sort of like BRB screen. I'm gonna do just sort of like a quick little wash up of some of these things so that we have a clean space to work with when we come back. And then we'll get going on to, I think Marbles is next. Is Marbles next? Well, let's go over to the computer and we'll look together. All right. We're back. We're back at this screen. Oh, I left the keyboard. BRB. All right. Oh man, Prince Anime is like on this right now. Getting it down to the 1 minute exactly. Well, almost exactly. Slim, how's your day? What have you been up to? Do you got any big weekend plans? You like movies and stuff? Sack finna be large. Oh man, yeah. That's our little Roku going over there. Let's check on our schedule. The schedule is as much for y'all as it is for me. Okay. It's Marbles! Marbles is next! Oh, I'm excited. Clearly I'm excited. We'll see. We're gonna do the Marbles Grand Prix, and then we may have time for like Gartic or another community game as well. But let me go do the thing in the kitchen real quick. I should be back in like 6 minutes. I think like at 4. Thank you all for coming in. Feel free to spam the ADHD feed while we're on holding. I'll load up a few. Why don't we load up a few?
Please don't bite me.
I'll let y'all take it from here.
Bite me. You're too.
Just got back from a run, and to cool down, I fingered my stink portal for about 5-10 minutes, and it felt amazing. I live in a high-rise, so it's very grounding to stick your fingers up your portal and get really earthy, and then sniff like Molly Shiny. Go rub, 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 and then stick it right in the portal if you're more advanced, and then.
Whoa.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Jiggle physics are now in GTA 6. This is groundbreaking news for gooners and the unemployed, but why? You see, it's not the water physics. It's not the beer bottles with bubble trails that's giving everyone a hard-on. No, this is advanced simulation of motion, devoted entirely to how cheeks move. Mass.
off when it happens inside.
And it is indoor. It's not the yard.
No. It's an indoor problem. It never rolls out. We have indoor problems. Like when we first got together in our first year, when we had a problem indoors, I just walked over to the window in our kitchen. I just started making up a musical. I was like, there was a time. And I started singing all of our problems. And then Stephanie chimed in and we had a duet. And so we'll just sing our problems out.
Wow, that's beautiful. And no therapist has been involved or anything?
I was just going to say, our therapist at one point said, have you guys ever heard of sad clowns?
20 Turkish uncles versus 1 Jar Jar Binks. The uncles arrive in synchronized Fiat Doblos. Each one carries a folding chair, a prayer rug, and unsolicited life advice. They form a tight circle. Jar Jar is confused. He thinks it's a picnic, but it's not a picnic. It's an intervention about his posture, his politics, and why he still isn't married. One uncle offers tea. Another critiques his choice of sandals. A third begins reciting Ottoman poetry until Jar Jar cries. They don't throw punches. They throw baklava and sucuk. Jar Jar tries to flee, but slips on sunflower seashells. Winner, the uncles, by emotional TKO. And they make him promise to visit more often and give him an Azerbaijan Tech Elite tea for him to remember this day. Get yours at childrenofkhan.com. Link in bio.
How people with medical conditions see the world.
know exactly what I wanted to be when I was a kid. When I grew up, I wanted to be an undercover cop. I didn't tell no one. Kept it secret. Didn't want to grow up, become an undercover cop. First day on the job, already blown my cover. Running my mouth off all around town as a child. So I was smart. Whenever an adult asked me, what do you want to be when you grow up? I thought, long term, I said, drug dealer. Every time. They can grow up, become an undercover cop, infiltrate a gang of drug dealers. If anything gets suspicious, like, hey, you think James might be an undercover cop? The others will be like, no way! This is his lifelong dream! Don't you ever say that again.
I love, I think they're called Heraxes? They're just so cute. They're so silly. Alright, we are ready to do the, awa awa. We are ready to make the rest of our pizza. So if you guys wanted to participate in your own pizza party, you know, feel free. Let's go back over to the kitchen. Let's see how our... Okay, I need to lower it a little bit. Thank you, Dean. I'm a huge fan of brain rot too. Sometimes we just need to shut our brains off a little bit. What does that mean? What is a streamer house? I love the idea though. What else did I need to do over here? Oh, nothing. All right, I'm gonna adjust the camera down a little so you can see the cutting board. And I will meet you by my other microphone. That's pretty good. Again, we're working scuff mic here, so you know, let me know if we're good or if we're not. I'm going to get we've got some pizza dough that we made earlier. It has popped up beautifully. Look at this little thing. Oh, I just want to kiss it. Come on. Nobody else is eating this, so I can do that. I washed my hands already, so don't freak out. We're gonna go ahead and punch down our pizza dough. I don't know why. It's just what you do. You deflate things. And now our dough may be a little stickier than before. You know, there's olive oil in it, and it's pizza dough, so I guess it's not really. You can also keep a little extra flour on hand to help if it's too sticky. I'm probably gonna flour the surface anyway. And we don't need to, where's my brain? I think I normally actually do this on parchment paper, is that right? Well anyways, we don't need to knead it again. So I'm just kind of patting it flat so that I can cut it into some equal pieces here. Oh, it's tracking me again. This creepy stalker. Apparently there's some default that every time I switch cameras it keeps going back to. And now I can't remember if I think this is it. I think this is the size for my personal pizzas. So we'll stick with that there. These we are going to wrap up in that plastic wrap we used earlier. Yeah, we'll use those to make more pizzas later. Not later in the stream. Later when I'm hungry. Okay. My little doughy Lincoln logs here. Went ahead and grabbed the toppings that I want to use. Let's get this puppy rolled out. Probably over addicted to parchment paper. This helps me make sure it won't stick. Rolling it. Ooh, you know what? I think we're gonna do little stuffed crust too. That is all super good. Okay. Rolling, rolling, rolling. And then this will need to sort of like pre-bake in my air fryer for a little bit. I don't have like a fancy pizza oven or pizza stove, pizza stone for the oven. I think with those things, you can just roll your stuff out and then load it up. But we don't have that situation. Okay. So we're gonna kind of stretch it to a rectangle shape, just because that's the shape of our air fryer. And I'm gonna grab some cheese and air fryer little sheets here. Smart about it, I kind of rolled it right onto this thing, but c'est la vie. Got this like giant block of cheddar from the party. White cheddar. So I'm just gonna cut some strips of it that we can then roll up in the edge of the crust. It'll feel fancy. What are y'all's favorite cheeses? Do you guys have favorite cheeses? One of my favorite kind of like questions to go with for people is you guys familiar with like the Desert Island Jukebox, right? Like where you decide, you have like 5 songs that go into it or something. What would like your Desert Island cheese board be? These are the only 5 cheeses you or anyone you know will ever be able to eat ever again. You gotta put some good thought into it. Like you need melty cheeses, you need some like sharp cheeses, you need some mellow cheeses. You don't wanna like find yourself without one of the essential cheese food groups. Exactly, Gene gets it. Gene understands me. Okay. So we're just gonna take these little cheese sprigs that we made. We're just gonna roll the crust around those. Bada bing, bada boom. Stuffed crust, you know what I'm saying? Oh, it looks so cute. My goodness. One for the end pieces. Ooh, a cheese grater attachment. Oh. Hey, Burger King! Do the roar. Do I have a roar? Thanks for coming in, by the way. It's nice to see you. I hope your weekend is going well. Have you been up to anything fun? Right now we are making pizza. So this is gonna go in an air fryer for I think like 12 minutes is probably good. Get it crisped up a little bit. And we will prepare the toppings. My toppings, olive oil, onion. So we use more of our onion from before. I'm gonna go really kind of thin slices on this. We don't need that much. Maybe a little more. I'm also going to pull our sauce out from before so that has a chance to cool down. Oh, it smells so good. I'm gonna wash pepper, mushroom. All right. Dean, what's your favorite cheese? Get these thin little strips of red pepper here. I'm trying to remember what my desert island cheese board is. I think brie has to go on there. I don't know how I could deal with never having brie ever again. Cheddar is like a little bit basic, but I feel like it's just such a core cheese, you know? I can never remember though if that all ends up getting edited off. Parmesan, I need a good Parmesan. You know, like pesto is made with Parmesan. So there's so many Alfredo. There's so many things. I feel like I'm blanking on some key cheeses here. like a Gouda. I think I can probably do without Swiss. Oh, pepper jack. Yeah. Right. It's foundational. Ooh, a pecorino. There's so many good cheeses. It's like it's really hard to limit it down to 5 once you start really thinking about it. I'm just gonna eat this mushroom stem. Alright. I'm gonna check on that crust, see what it looks like. That'd be nice. Still needs to do some work. Now I need to figure out which cheeses I want to use. I think I'm gonna slice up some more of this. I'm gonna put these away. Get a little partially chopped veggie back going. Swiss to me is like generic sandwich cheese. There's nothing else. It's there for. I feel like isn't Swiss cheese used in like fondue sometimes? I feel like it has like that kind of like sharp, sort of sharp note. But I get it. I get that take. Y'all, this crust smells so good. So brie, I think brie, Gouda, cheddar, Parmesan. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a the pecorino on my desert island cheese board. Those are my 5. I do feel like I'm blanking on cheese that I really love right now, though. Okay, so cottage cheese gets complicated. I feel like cottage cheese is like a very polarizing subject. Some people feel like absolutely disgusted by it, but I love it. Honestly, it's probably the cheese that I eat like the most, so I would have a hard time like not eating it ever again. I don't want to bump one of the other ones. Okay, so for today, for this pizza, we're gonna do that white cheddar that we just chopped up. And then some Monterey Jack with jalapeno peppers. Some shredded Parmesan. This is still warm enough to dissolve some Parmesan into it. So I'm going to do that. Great hack is like a little bit of Parmesan in almost any kind of sauce. Just ends up tasting so good. And it gives this like really kind of earthy, nutty, just like complex umami flavor to the dish. So that'll be a nice, very nice sauce. And it doesn't really like make it creamy or anything. It just sort of like fully dissolves away into it. Yo, Olivia dude! Thanks for coming. It's very nice to see you again. Thank you for sending your love to me and the pizza. Dean says, how have you been? What have you been up to today? We're in the middle of pizza, and then we're gonna eat our pizza and probably watch like silly videos while we do that. And then we're gonna have golf with your friends. So if you want to hang around for golf, we'd love to have you for golf. But what have you been up to today? I hope you've been having a good weekend. Dean says, this is a very hot take of mine, but I love processed cheese. I don't care if it has its place. For sure. For sure. Processed cheese, are you thinking like Kraft singles or like Velveeta? I mean, I'm sure you're talking about all of it, but community movement, is that like group shifting? I don't know what group shifting is actually. The community movement is we do some stretches together, we do some breathing together, and then we do like 3 movements that are sort of like targeted on sort of like a certain part of the body, as well as trying to do a little bit of like full body sort of movement. So for today, we did our stretches were this one. This is the great one. Just wakes up this time. We did these. Oh, the lean back and the hug, and we did cat cow on the ground. And for our actual like movement, we did like all fours mostly. So there's like bear pose where you're just on your palms and your tiptoes, and then one where you're on your knees but you kick a leg back, and then Superman's where you're on your tummy and you lift your torso up and then you lift your legs up. So that was our community movement. I do keep forgetting to update the schedule. Good thing that timer is automatic, you know what I mean? Yo, Gigi! Nice to see you. Thank you for coming. Thank you. That's also a very, very kind compliment. All of the above, really. American, white American, yeah. I mean, honestly, for like melted cheeses and doing like cheese dips, I actually have some of this out right now. Sodium citrate is like one of the key things in Velveeta that gives it that super creamy texture. You can just buy this for like $7 on Amazon, but if you want to do cheese sauces and you don't want to build a roux first, because those can be tricky sometimes, that's the way. Super easy hack. But like Velveeta just sort of like gets you there already. It has that embedded in it. So let's check out our crust. Oh, looks great. Okay, so the stuffed crust like sort of ended up pouring out, which that's fine. But we've got some nice browning already, which is very good. Some rigidity, that's good. The bottom is still a little soft. Alright, let's catch up with what's going on in here. Chip proof. I don't know what that means, but sometimes you just gotta hold hands. Yeah. Good. Okay. There we are. Oh, absolutely. There you go. Rex. While we're putting on our sauce, this is our sauce that we made together earlier. From tomatoes. So we're gonna spoon some of that on there. Oh, I was gonna do science food facts. So emulsifiers. If you've heard of emulsifiers before, what those do is they help stabilize any mixture that you're making between essentially fats and waters or vinegars. So if you think about like You've ever mixed like oil and water, or like a vinegar and oil before, they want to separate, right? Emulsifiers are these molecules that are, I feel like the aliens guy. You know the aliens meme? My hair is probably doing something similar. They're molecules that specialize essentially because of their shape and bonding to a liquid like water and to a fat. So that lets your sauces kind of. So there's lots of good ones out there. All right, I'm gonna start layering this puppy up. Get a little pepper on there. I also like to throw a little extra pepper on there. I also like to throw a little extra salt in there. Okay. I'm gonna put some of the toppings in before the cheese. This is gonna be an ooey gooey. Go ahead and throw cheddar down, the white cheddar. Gonna layer in more of the toppings. Then I think we will pop this thing in the oven. Okay. Now we'll do our sprinkly cheeses. This is gonna be a base. And then I'm probably gonna have to put some foil on top of this because the edges are starting to get brown already. We don't want those to get too crispy. Alright. I'm gonna do a little more pepper on top. I'm a peppery gal. There we go. Back down to the air fryer. Here we go. Good 10 minutes. I think we're safe. Get my little foil hat for the thing. Alright, I'm gonna put a couple things away. This thing's angry at me. I didn't do it right. It's getting stuck. Oh, this is what I do. I put a spoon on top of it. There we go. Let's give a look at our schedule real quick. All right. So we have our golf tourney. That's one of 3 golf tourneys we have. And we will be crowning a grand champion at the end of this 24-hour stream. So best chances if you're there for all 3, but you can certainly win with not being there for all 3. So that is coming up pretty shortly, just a half an hour, and then we'll have our first Mario run. Anybody who was here last time knows how that one is. So we'll try to do better than that. I think we ended at 4:34.59. That's what we got last time. we're aiming for a 3:30 today, which is probably delusional, but it will be fun to try. For anybody who's just getting in here, you can do pee-pee grab every 15 minutes. And that is going to collect some coins for you. And in our last Mario run, it's going to be the Pirate Mario run. I will be in full pirate regalia. And you will be able to punish me with your PP points. So there's 5 different punishments that you can do. We were previewing one of them earlier, which is that I have to juggle my weapons. So fun stuff. But grab your PP coins so that you can use them. This is still a little warm for me to put into the fridge, so we're going to let that chill a little longer. Bada bing, bada boom. That guy can go on. We'll get a little bag for these toppings. You know what? We'll use the Tupperware. Use it. Okay. Our pizza has like 5 more minutes left on it. I think what I'm going to do is bounce us to one of our holding screens. Or actually, I'm going to put on the marbles race that's going on. We're in a 100-lap marbles race at the moment. Candy is still in the lead, I think. I'm going to let my dogs out. They're seeming a little antsy. I will be right back.